Erica, Ebony, London, they don't bother me. Leave me alone. Y'all was fucking terrorizing me for 2 years, bro, because I was with the nigga. I gave him back. I gave him back for the same reasons y'all were fucking terrorizing me for 2 years. I look crazy right now. I get absolutely nothing from this. I was supposed to have my child, be married like the nigga said he would do, and carry on with my career silently. But no, I have to keep dealing with you hoes.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. If y'all haven't done so already, please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell button if you like. You don't have to, but I encourage you to. So before I get into it, I do want to express that most things I discuss on this channel is not directed towards any individual per se, but just topics used for examples of events that may occur in our daily lives that we can use as a lesson. So I wanted to point something out. Did y'all notice where she said she wanted to just have her baby and she was supposed to get married? And this was her intentions. The example of someone who had the right idea but just picked the wrong person for the job. And as we can see, she's a very talented person, well established. And from a previous video that she made, she somewhat expressed how she was different from the other women, which brought the internet into a frenzy. And that was the culprit behind why so many women came after her, because they were like many other women who had the same idea but still picked the wrong guy for the job. So they were like, what makes you different from us? Pookie and Ray Ray don't discriminate. And so they was really in their feelings about that at the time, because a lot of women do think that they're different from other women, especially if they're dealing with the same type of man. And a lot of times women like that challenge of being the one that fixed that man and being disappointed when they get the same results. I'm going to play a clip from that encounter back then so you guys can see what happened before I get into the rest of this video. All right, so right here, Summer Walker thought she was better than single mothers. All right, let's listen to this and see what's going on here. Okay, so right here, what I'm gonna play is her going back and forth with different baby mothers on what she feels like is her opinion on what's going on in the lives of her now baby daddy and those baby mothers, probably based on things that he have told her or based on her personal opinions, not having enough experience at the time and just going on a rant. Let's listen to this.
Ended up seeing this, and this is what she had to say and what transpired after. And so Eliza said, "Hey, Summer Walker, don't come for me if I didn't send for you. Mind you and your man business, okay? And since you're an expert on what's disgusting, please explain your thoughts on what it is he's allegedly doing to his own children and their mothers. Deadbeat girlfriend." First of all, Miss Galacta, because Summer's name on Instagram is Galacta, nice music, but where's your brain at? I don't even like going back and forth with Black women during times like these, but how are you speaking on a situation like mine when your man is doing the same, if not worse, than the person I'm battling in court? Instead of condemning me on a fake number, you should be using your platform to speak against this type of neglect of children and abuse of women. But I can't expect much from a person who condones their man allegedly playing the same type of games. Imagine being a Black woman with a big platform built on music that is mostly celebrated and supported by Black women, using your voice to bash another Black woman based on fake news, instead of speaking up for Black women who are forced into situations like mine by Black men who are never held accountable. Speaking of holding Black men accountable, you lay up under a Black man who is allegedly mistreating other Black women and the children they share with him. Imagine that.
Summer Walker really made some judgmental statements and condescending remarks regarding single mothers and child support.
So you guys heard that she made a lot of remarks about child support. She really, in the beginning, like she said in the video, she was striving to get married and not be a baby mama, but now she's a baby mama. And as you can see right here, She is confirming that she made a mistake in her judgment against the one she chose.
Summer Walker took to her Instagram and wrote, "Black men gotta start doing better when it comes to being a father. My grandfather lame, my father lame, and this ninja lame. LOL." And I guess the cycle will just continue. I guess ninjas still dealing with the shackles of mental slavery or some ish. Back when white men ripped you from your families and beat you to death if you tried to protect them. It goes deep-ish, really sad. Then she went on to say, "But at least I can afford to take care of my child." Now, this is where I had an issue with her Instagram story because she is still trying to come across as if she's better. But let's continue. So she went on to say, "Everyone ghetto. It was all so ghetto. I tried to get him to spend time with his other kids as much as I could. He ain't want to because he's selfish. I tried to get his baby mamas to let him see his kids. They didn't want to because they was bitter and hated me for no reason. I tried to get everybody to just get the F along like one big happy family. Instead, everyone just ish on me. And now I just have the ish end of the stick because all these MFs is ghetto." But that's how it goes when everybody's spiritually and mentally undeveloped. I don't know, WTF. I was thinking I should really out this bum a ninja. I could really F up life, LOL, but I'm not. Girl, out him. His business is already out here.
So, like she said, his business was already out there. He was already known in the streets. He already had multiple baby mamas. So the information was out there. The information was being told. It didn't have to be sold. And so that's what a lot of people was warning her about. And now you see right here, if y'all want to go to this link, this is Real Talk with Yanni. If y'all want to see the full video, let me go ahead and read some of these comments real quick before I get into the rest of this. It says, if Summer is calling London mentally and spiritually undeveloped, why did she keep sleeping with him? Sexual intercourse is a spiritual exchange between you and the person you're encountering. If you're having constant intercourse with a person who is spiritually undeveloped, what does that make you? And see, I'm reading this because this was 9 months ago. It was not that long ago that these comments were up here. When being a pick-me goes wrong, featuring Summer Walker. I'm a single mom. I have a master's degree, car paid for, and I'm a veteran. She needs to shut up. The problem here is the fact that a lot of these people see child support as women trying to collect a check, which many of them do. I'm going to get to that, which many of them do. You have different categories of women. A lot of times when you see a majority of women do some type of scandalous stuff, that doesn't mean all women are doing it. And you will hear a lot of women say that, and it sounds tiring that it's not all women, it's not all women. But right here, it says women trying to collect their check, which many of them do, is acknowledged. We acknowledge that. But for the mom that actually uses it appropriately, if the father is making millions, $5,300 is not a lot, and that money is entitled to the child, no matter what the end of the day, what it is at the end of the day. Single motherhood can happen to the best of us. Most women don't file for child support. Child support payments are not a come up. I do not understand why women think they suddenly will be treated differently when these men flat out show a pattern of disrespecting women. And that's why we have to pick better when it comes to what these men want and what these men are looking for when they're dating women. We have to know what they want out of the future. Do they want marriage? Do they want to be in a monogamous relationship? Do they want children? You know, we have to ask these questions. And then when we see these patterns of baby mama after baby mama after baby mama, but no action behind any change, then we can't be so sure to know that we can just lay up and have children with them. And she came to her senses like a lot of us do. It's called trial and error. We all go through some type of trial and some type of error. And hopefully those trials and errors help us to make better decisions going forward. Now I get it. I get it. When you're a young lady, you don't know it all. You out here making mistakes. Of course, you're going to be out here listening to the man that you're laying up with because, you know, you're wanting to trust and you're wanting to believe that everything he's saying is right and everything he's saying is true. So, I mean, it gets the best of us. And is it right to go at other women about the situation? No, but at the same time, a lot of men will tell you things that's not really what's going on behind the scenes. And sometimes you can't understand how these things can happen and even think that others are doing something wrong and that it can't happen to you. But you live and you learn. What I've noticed is that women tend to be more passionate towards broken women and less understanding of a woman who has good intentions. As you can see, even in the comment section, Summer Walker was like 23, 24 at the time. So it's like, you know, we know we've been through this stuff. As you can see, there was less compassion for her when she was going through her learning process versus her now when she is frustrated and broken. It's kind of this thing like we're responding like, oh, you thought you were special, but you're not, join the club type of thing. So we only congratulate the women when they are or have experienced our same struggles, and now they're relatable, now they're acceptable. But to me, I believe we should educate and uplift our women even if they haven't gone through the same experience that we have been through, just so we can prevent them from doing that, because it still comes off as a selfish mentality. And I just wanted to point that out. Now she's a baby mama. Now she's relatable. Now she understands. You can see that she is expressing her frustration in the video. Now the women are proud and more compassionate towards her. But I think that even when a young woman is going through her learning stage and she doesn't know any better, you know, the women should be more uplifting instead of taking it as a insult. Be more of an example to show that it's not always green on the other side. But more times than not, when a woman is broken and she's frustrated and she doesn't have all of her stuff together now, that's when the compassion comes in, because now we're relatable. We're all on the same team now. We're all on the same boat. So now I can feel sorry for you. Now I can tell you about my experiences, versus in the comments, you see that, you know, everybody is kind of, when being a pick me goes wrong, featuring Summer Walker. You know, all of this stuff right here. If you listen to the message that she said in the beginning, she said, my father won ish, my grandfather won ish, none of the men in her family won ish. And so that further proves her thought process on how she thought that whatever she can do, she's gonna make things better. She still had a little hope that it could be different for her. She didn't have that support system that she needed to make her choose better when it comes to men. She basically chose the same type of man that she is used to seeing in her family line of men that she said was not ish. So she basically chose the man that she know to be in her family that was not ish. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of these women, I seen one that said, I am 20 years old, but despite the age, if you don't have the support, if you don't have that father figure in your life that's going to teach you how to make good choices, if you're not going to have that person in your life that's going to be supportive and teach you right and teach you how to go about seeing these situations the way you're supposed to see it, then you're going to come up with your own conclusion of how you think life is supposed to go. And then once that happens, you're going to see the truth. you're going to be faced with seeing the truth. So I say that to say that when these women mess up and when these women get into this mindset to where they know it all or they think they got all the answers, that they think they're better, let's still educate them. Let's not put them down, because we like to use the word bash when it comes to us thinking that we're being attacked, but we're still bashing back when we're not educating our young sisters on the reality of life. And we have to start not having that mindset of attack when it comes to how people speak or how people look at things in life, and only just congratulating them when they mess up in life. Because as you can see right here, the comments are different. As you can see right here, the comments are different.
I personally keep it way too early. Listen, public service announcement. Erica, Ebony, London, they don't bother me. Leave me alone. Y'all was fucking terrorizing me for 2 years, bro, because I was with the nigga. I gave him back for the same reasons y'all were fucking terrorizing me for 2 years. Parents come over to the playroom, blah, blah, blah. Nah, bitch, because you was fucking my baby daddy. You still wanted to fight. I don't want to fight any of you hoes. I don't get anything from this. Y'all do. Y'all clout chasers. I look crazy right now. I get absolutely nothing from this. I was supposed to have my child, be married, like the nigga said he would do, and carry on with my career silently. But no, I have to keep dealing with you hoes. Leave me alone, bro. I don't want to talk to you. Keep me out your mouth. We have nothing to discuss. You told me to leave you alone. You don't want to be on that family shit. So cool, bro. I have no problem with y'all, bro. Leave me alone, bro. I'm saying one more time. Leave me alone.
So let's read some of these comments. Summer is hilarious. This is why I love her. I'm happy for Summer. She is doing what's best for her and her baby. And that's what she should be doing. What's best for her and her baby. One thing about it, I know y'all better leave my Summer alone. When you give him back and they still F with you. I tried to do the big happy family-ish. Summer don't respond. She should have seen this coming. At least she can take care of herself and her child. Now, she said this last time that she at least can take care of herself and her child. But a lot of people was in the comment section saying that that was a jab towards them. And a lot of people in the comment section didn't feel the same way when she had hope that she was going to be a wife and not be a baby mama, and she had all of these dreams and aspirations from the wrong person that she picked. But now that she is a baby mama now and she is relatable, now everybody is congratulating her. And I'm actually congratulating on her for her baby and for coming to her senses and leaving this guy alone and hopefully choosing better in the future, and just using this as a learning lesson. I'm happy for her on that sense, but I'm just basically using this as an example to point out how we do with our women in these given situations. I mean, at a certain age, it's going to be been there, done that. We got to mess up before we do better, because if we don't mess up, there's always going to be that curiosity. And so this is like similar to the Sierra trial era with Future, which is another baby maker, versus Russell Wilson. And a lot of men expressed that he was simping, simply because his type wasn't really her first option. And a lot of times the Russell Wilson types are not the women's first options. And he was left, and the men expressed how he was left taking care of another man's child. And I get it. These type of things happen more than not. whether it's the mother with the children or it's the father with the children. These things happen more times than not, especially when you're at a certain age still looking for love. More times than not, it's going to be some kids in the picture. It's going to be some kids in the picture because that courtship happens at an early age. And within all of those mistakes that we make, companionship still exists. It's not going to stop. I noticed that a lot of us are driven to what looks cool and what looks good on the outside. And then when we find out there's a lot of mess that we got to put up with, then we try something different at the point of getting fed up. And it always seems like the good women and the good men are always the last ones chosen. So the question is, can people change? Can people change? How can you identify whether the person is ready to settle when you see a repeated broken history? And we see all kinds of examples from repeated scenarios of many popular people like London on the Track, Future, Nick Cannon, and even Kirk Frost, to where they repeatedly produce children with multiple women. And us women being driven by emotion and some money, like I was talking about earlier, oftentimes thinking that we are different and can change a man, will more times than not fall for the same okie doke and allow this to be possible, especially if that individual holds some type of status. I hate to say this, but the truth is, if the woman is driven by financial status, if she's driven by that, a woman feels like if she could potentially get pregnant by an average guy that holds no status and could result in them being a broke baby mama. Basically, it can result in them being a broke baby mama, and that it would be more beneficial to get impregnated by someone who has status, even if that person doesn't display good characteristics when it comes to parenthood or even being a potential husband, because at least they would be financially stable if things don't work out. They're not going to say this, but that is the plan. I will be okay if I have a baby by a person that is more stable, even if he doesn't display the type of characteristics. But the thing is, a lot of women think that all men or most men are bad anyway. So if I'm going to choose one to have a baby with, it has to be someone that's going to be of status, and then I can be good for the rest of my life. And they're not going to risk getting pregnant by somebody that doesn't have anything, because it's not going to benefit them. And they'll have to chase them down just to get help with that child. And this is what a lot of women's mindset is. It's not the right mindset, but it happens more times than not. And it only affects the children, not financially, but it affects them when it comes to nature versus nurture and their roles in development as young men and young women. Usually they start to repeat because they'll only do the things that they think is necessary in order to get them through life. Now, there's a lot of scenarios we can make out of this, but we're going to talk about the relational concern of the example of being a player and versus being in a committed relationship, or turning a HO into a housewife. Can people change? Even if you think you can change them, there is still that doubt of concern of the person's past, sometimes not fully trusting that they have changed, not thinking that you may be enough to satisfy their previous free lifestyle that they had before committing to you. So, can people change? In the short answer, people can change. People can change anything they want to in life. They just have to want to. Just like they would want anything else in life. It's a choice, and it's a mind thing. You have to find a purpose why you're doing what you're doing. And the purpose has to be something strong enough to where you don't want to go back to that type of life. If you still see value in your repeated decisions, you will find no reason to why you think it should be changed. And those are some of the questions that you have to ask when you're in doubt. And that's why a lot of times when women think they are special and they think they can change a man and they see a different outcome, then they're shocked because they thought that the women that they were dealing with was doing something wrong. But it's multiple women. And you have to think, all of these women can't be just doing something wrong. I know there's a lot of messed up men and women out there, but when you're the common denominator, sometimes you have to figure out, what are you doing wrong? If a choice is made due to pressure, then that person hasn't changed. This is why it's good to ask questions on the motive behind the change. If the response is like, hey, I just want to try this relationship thing out, that's not change. That's you wanting to try something. Or if your response is like, hey, all my friends getting married, then they haven't changed. They're not ready for that responsibility. You're doing it because other people are doing it. And a lot of times that don't work. They will eventually get bored of their new status and will slowly revert back to what worked for them to fulfill them. If the fulfillment never went outdated, there will still be a desire to indulge into it. And it wouldn't take much for an influencer to ignite that habit. Believe it or not, some of our habits are addictions and we refuse to let go of them because they bring us so much motive and meaning and feeling behind it. They bring us so much meaning. And a lot of this behavior is formed from a lack of something. And so that habit fulfills what that person is lacking. And most of the time, it's a feeling of being wanted and desired. Once it wears off, they have to find a new supply. And the way it wears off is if they find themselves having to do more work than is desired, but not still getting that same outcome. That puppy love to where it don't matter what you do, they're all over you. That stuff wears off. So they're not going to feel like they have to put more work into it if you're not still giving them that puppy love and that same energy. So they find a new supply to work on to get that same high. Change can't just be verbal. It comes with growth, a different mindset, not seeing an interest in the previous behaviors anymore. Recognition, recognizing the behavior for what it truly is and having the opposite feeling of the action that you once possessed and showing a positive action by the way you move. And that's why a lot of these type of men, the Pookies and the Ray Rays, and all of these cool type of influencers that women like will never change because they don't see any value in why they should. They're getting everything that they want from the validation and from their status and from all of the things that they have. So they don't see a point of trying to change up and have something different because it's going to take away from all of the other things that they're getting. You're just a pawn in the game. And so what us women need to do is we need to try to look beyond the visual and look for the goals and the potential in the man that we want. If we want that family, if we want that marriage, if we want to go to that next level, the Russell Wilsons, the simps. I'm just going to be honest. All men and women are not going to be the same. All men is not going to be alpha and all women are not going to be feminine. We balance each other out. And that's why a lot of times when you see people in relationships, you may see even sometimes a beta man and an alpha woman, but they balance each other out and they work together in many ways to help each other. Because a lot of these things aren't just developed. Some people just have those strong personalities. And we're not talking about toxic things that we pick up. We're just talking about energies right now. We're just talking about energy. But all right, y'all. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment. Let me know what y'all think about this situation. I'm out.